Wants to become a great speaker, raise your hand. See, 100%, maybe 90%. Awesome. Let me start with you. Let me share a secret of me first with you. Before I joined Toastmasters, you just did that. I was like this kid. I was shy. I was introvert. I was even afraid to speak with girls. And these I'll be like, I don't believe it. Jason, no way. He's not gonna be a shy boy. But before I joined Toastmasters, I was like one of you. I was afraid of speaking in front of public, speaking in front of on the stage, and even make a presentation. But after joining Toastmaster for a few years, I have grown a lot. And surprisingly, I got second place 2 years ago, and also this year's International Prepared Speech Contest. I joined Toastmasters for almost 6 years. And trust me, in 6 years, if you try hard, if you believe in yourself, you can become, well, no, this guy on the stage. And throughout those Toastmasters journey, by participating in the contest, by observing other awesome speeches, by attending different international conventions, and the spring conference, fall conference convention, I have tried to learn different secrets and skill sets from all the championship speakers. And that's why today I'm very honored to be invited by the President David to share with you some of the secrets that I learned from those great speakers in the world. For those who don't know, I encourage all of you to look up their videos on YouTube. 2014 champion Dhananjaya Hettiarachchi. 2015 Mohammed. 2016 the one we just visited a few months ago, Darren Tate, and the person who I believe will be the champion this year, Kuan Yu Yan. These four are great examples. They are like powerful speakers, and they have won many awards. So if you have a chance, I encourage all of you to look it up. So I try to study their speeches as well as how I prepare my speech. And today I would like to share with you 8 different secrets. There are many different secrets. Some of you just mentioned your opinions. So today I'll share my opinions as well. So the first secret of an awesome speech is you have to know your audience. You have to speak to your audience on a personal level. When we're doing a presentation, obviously there's a purpose, right? You have to know who you are talking to, so you can organize your speech accordingly. So when you're on the stage, the most important thing is the audience. Today, I have designed this speech because I know most of my audiences are Toastmasters. So many secrets that I share will be designated about how you can prepare your Toastmaster speech, even a contest speech. Understand who your audience are and create your speech accordingly. And then once you understand who your audience is, we had to take a deep look into 4 types of speech. There are 4 major types of speech to entertain. For example, a joke session. Right? To inform, it might be a business presentation. To persuade, Nelson's speech. To inspire, also Nelson's speech. Right? So there are 4 major types of speech. After you know your audience, you have to figure out, okay, today do you want to inspire your audience? Do you want to entertain your audience? Or are you trying to persuade your audience? So let's take a detailed look. Someone mentioned when the secret of having an awesome speech is to have a great personal stories. We all have a unique personal experience and story. So those stories might be entertaining, might be inspirational, right? So you got to have a personal experience in order to entertain people. Or you can try to use imagination, jokes that you found on the internet, or jokes that you created your own. Okay, you can also find dramatic or humorous story from other sources. To be able to entertain is very difficult. Personally, I don't consider myself an entertaining speaker, but it is a very powerful way to grab people's attention. So you got to have entertaining elements in the speech. Second is to inform. Typically, when you do your icebreaker, when you do a business presentation, okay, obviously we're trying to provide information about ourselves, about our company, about our products, or about your values. So you have to provide opinions and ideas based on facts, points with statistics, right? If you want to persuade people, you want to inform people about global warming, you got to have facts, like how the temperature changes in the past few years. You can use quotes from famous people, from different authors, or you can inform them with experts' opinions. So for example, I got second place, so I consider myself an expert, but I still learn from other experts, international experts. I collected their information, and today I try to inform you how to become an awesome speaker. Persuade. We have to recognize a problem and provide a solution through the use of, again, personal experience, facts, and experts' opinions. So let me give you an example. Nelson was trying to persuade us how to treat sorrow in a different way. How to not give up so you can survive and become a greater person. Right? So he uses his personal story, and that's a fantastic example. Last one is probably my favorite, it's my style. I consider myself an inspirational speaker. So in this part, you have to motivate the audience, the energy to improve personally, emotionally, professionally, and spiritually, which relies heavily on emotional appeal. In this section, you got to have your own personal story. You are the only one who can share your own story in the best way. Later on, I'll talk about emotions. And at the end, you're trying to challenge the audience, okay, to achieve a higher level. So again, there are 4 types of speech: to entertain, to inform, to persuade, and inspire. Okay? So that's secret number 1. Second, have a takeaway message and make it relevant throughout. I believe Nelson mentioned about value. Yes, this message or value is whatever you want your audience to be thinking about when your presentation concludes. Every speech got to have a message or a value, right? If you're entertaining, inform, or persuade, you're providing a message. But if you want to inspire, a very unique value or a common value will be very suitable. So, in Dhananjaya's speech, his takeaway message is anyone has the potential to be great, even if they have long abandoned their greatness aspiration. That's his message. In Darren's speech, we are all our own worst bullies. Okay? So next time when you want to create a speech, you can always start with the message. You already have a personal story, and the reason why you choose that personal story is you probably learned something from it. So what did you learn from your personal story? That is the message that you want to bring to your audience. Secret number 3, once you have a message or a value, you need to create a slogan or a repetitive catchy phrase that's easy for audience to remember. So this could be a sentence, right? A slogan is a sentence that you can speak and repeat it maybe 2 times, 3 times, even 4 times. And if you have a repeated message, people will remember, oh yeah, say that again and again. So let's take a look at Donald Jaya's speech. Do you know what his slogan is?
I saw something.
I see something in you, but I don't know what it is. Yeah, so he repeat his famous slogan 4 times. And Darren, outsmart, outlast. Sometimes the slogan can be your title, right? So the audience will know the title, and then you will put those slogans throughout your story. And Kwan, if you take a look at his story on YouTube, he created a story about needles in acupuncture. Right? One small needle, little thing, makes a big change. And I will be there, the 3rd place winner from 2016, who also visited Taichung, probably last year or 2 years ago. So I use those skill set, those tips to create my own. This is 2016 when I won 2nd place. So my message is everyone is born to do something extraordinary. That is my message. And the slogan that I use is, I was born to dance, what are you born to do? Right? So you see there's a connection, born to, because I believe so. So I was born to dance. How about you? Right? So I repeat that slogan probably 3 times in my speech, and my title was Born to Dance. That's 4 times. In this year, my 2nd time competing, also got 2nd place. The message I want to show his audience is trust is the foundation of true love. True love was my title. Right? So the message, the slogan, the catchphrase I created, trust the one you love and love the one you trust. Right? When you create a slogan, it has to be easy to remember. So that was my example. Secret number 4, emotions. Today we have a perfect example, again from Nelson. I'll be using Nelson as my example. Why is emotion so important? If you have a speech that talks about, wow, I'm so happy, I'm so successful, yeah, boring, right? But when you have sadness, furious, anger, sorrow, loving, friendly, all those different types of emotion, you can create that connection with the audience. We are not perfect, right? We all have different life, different complaints, different experiences. And your anger, your sorrow, your disappointment could be other people's disappointment as well. So why this is so important is to create empathy. We feel empathy, right? Today, even though I'm not married yet, I feel the sadness from Nelson's speech, and I was touched, and I'm sure all of you were touched. Then he used that sorrowness and then talk about how he got into the church, meet with people. So he overcome his depression to happiness. He overcome his sorrow to relief, and he overcome his sadness to fulfillment. So how can we do that in a story structure? Oh yeah. So why is empathy so important? Is because once you have the same feelings, you create that connection with the audience. So a typical story structure should be like this, right? This is the beginning, this is the middle, and this is the end. Usually you start with something, talk about something general, and then slowly in the middle of your story, there are crises, right? You might have different story, you might have different problems you have to face, and at the end, there is a climax, a hero's journey, right? You met a hero from a church. Then, denouement, or conclusion. Denouement means ending, right? So a typical story should follow this structure. So how can we apply emotions in this? Obviously, you might want to start something to entertain. For example, in any speech, you start out with like entertain me. She start out with a story, right, about cooking and his dad preparing the hot guava juice. Though throughout the middle part, she has those arguments with the father. But in the climax part, she realized how cooking has affected, how cooking is a metaphor of how she should treat her life, right? So you can try to play around with different emotions in your story. Don't just make it plain. It will be too boring.